Hello everybody, and welcome back to a slightly different video on this here YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how I make these darn videos. So anyway, you might have noticed on the channel last week or possibly 2 weeks ago, depending on when this goes up, that I uploaded a video about a cheap umbrella lighting kit that I personally use. And I thought that was a pretty good video. And it's funny I'm saying that because I haven't even made that video yet. So in this video about how I make my videos, I'm going to be taking you through my process, the steps I take, what kind of tricks I use, and should be pretty interesting. So jumping right into it, the first step in any video, for me anyway, is scripting and research. So what I'll usually do is I will pop into my Google Drive, and I have a folder called scripts, so I will go in there and then I will create a new document. This video in particular is not scripted because it's kind of like, hey, here's what I'm doing and here's why I'm doing it. But normally there would be some scripting going on. So for example, right here, I have the script for the lighting video. So I did obviously have to do some research, looking up some lighting terms because personally I'm not an expert. And then also I had to go onto the product's Amazon page, read some reviews, look at the specs, get the official name of the thing. So that was all part of the scripting process. When I'm actually writing the script, I don't usually write it because I'm not big on typing out long stuff. So I'll usually use Google Voice dictation within Google Docs to kind of speed up that process. So in case you were wondering how you do that, you go to Tools and Voice Typing, or Command or Control Shift S, and then you can just, let me see if I can get an example here. You can just start speaking about whatever and it'll put it straight into the document. And since I'm the only one who's going to be reading the script, usually I put a minimal amount of effort into grammar and spell checking, but I still make sure that that stuff is good enough. Alright, so step number 2 is shooting. So I'm in here, this is my chair right here. So anyway, I'm about to start shooting the video. And here's how I've got it set up. So I've got my chair right down there, and then over here I've got my 2 umbrella lights, which the video I'm making is actually about. Then I have the Big Daddy camera over here. This is the Canon 80D with the Rode VideoMic Pro on top. Love the flip out screen because it's just me when I'm recording. And then down here I have my laptop propped up on a couple of different furniture items, and I actually use this as a teleprompter. So I'll just take portions of the script that I've written here in Google Docs, and then I'll just paste it into a free teleprompter website like this one to help me stay on track and make sure I'm saying the right things that I put in the script. Or to actually get started on the shoot, usually I throw up just the Google Chromecast on the TV back there because it looks nice in the background. Then I also have to turn on the lights. Now normally I wouldn't keep the windows open, but today it's pretty overcast and the light coming in there is actually nice and soft. So I'm going to keep them open for this particular shoot, but most days the windows will remain closed. Sometimes I do also turn on the overhead light, just to add like a bit of warmer tones to it, because these lights are fairly glaring sometimes. So once I sit down in the chair, I gotta just check the camera, make sure focus is in, make sure the lens is at the correct focal length, and I always forget this, turn on the microphone. The microphone is on, then I will turn on the teleprompter, and then I will start shooting that A-roll. What you're looking at right now is, in this video, is me being lit up by 2 of the cheapest video lights available on Amazon. Alright, so I just finished with the A-roll shooting, and it was pretty successful, so I've already moved a few things out of the way. And now I pretty much have to tear down this setup so I can shoot some B-roll, which I do all over the place, got to get some different things in the background, so I'll shoot some in this room, and then I will also, in all of my videos, unless it is like terribly inconvenient or there's bad weather, I will head outside to shoot some stuff. It just makes for interesting video in the background. And then I might also move around the house and get some different shots, because having a variable background is key for me anyway, because I just don't like having this particular room in the background of all of my videos, so I'll be moving around and shooting a whole bunch of B-roll. Alright, I'm now in the outdoors, and I am shooting some various different B-roll. I did some other shooting inside, and I like coming out here. There's some good sights. I was just about to shoot the clip where the umbrella falls over due to the wind. It already did. Yeah. Maybe I won't even need to stage this. Anyway, I'm going to shoot that clip right now. Should be pretty funny. Alright, so now I am pretty much done with shooting B-roll. So now I have to clean up, and sometimes I do forget certain B-roll things. Like I'll look at the script and go, oh, there's really a shot that I need right there. So I'll go out and get some more B-roll, but right now I'm finished, so I'm going to be heading back inside and moving on to the next step. Alright, so after we are finished with all of dat, B-roll, and A-roll, I have to ingest and organize the footage. So normally I would grab the SD card out of the camera and start moving it onto my computer. In this case, I'm actually using the camera to record this here video clip. So instead I've grabbed the small micro SD card from my small action camera that I was using to record parts of this video. So I have a handy dandy little USB thing. So it has micro SD and an SD card slot. So all I do is I just slot in the card and then put it into the spare USB on the back of my 2018 Mac Mini. So there we go, and it should pop up on screen. Here we go, micro SD. So now what I'll do is I'll open up my big 4 terabyte external hard drive. My Mac Mini only does have 128 gigabytes of internal storage, so I can't put anything on there, so I do edit off an external drive. So over here, so we'll go into tech videos, so this is the video about the lighting kit, so I've already imported that footage as I mentioned. So normally what I'll do, I actually save this step, so I'll make an A-roll folder, and I will make a B-roll folder, and then if I'm including any screen captures or other videos, I will make folders for those as well. So in this case, the only thing that goes in the A-roll folder is this one clip, because I just did it as one long thing and I did all it takes in one clip. And it can sometimes be easier to manage that in the timeline, and then the rest of this will go into B-roll. Now that the footage is all ingested and organized, we can hop into Final Cut Pro to edit. Alright, so here I am in a blank Final Cut Pro window. And so what I'm going to do when I'm starting a new edit is I'm going to go to New, Library. And I have a external drive I call the Vault. This is where I keep all of my Final Cut Pro libraries. So that way it's a small 500 gigabyte drive. So basically I have all the libraries, and then when it gets full, I delete the oldest one. So I'm keeping projects as long as I can. And then after that, I'm realistically never going to go back and change it. So I will name it the same thing as I named the folder on the other external drive. So how I make videos. So we're going to do that. We're going to make a new project. We're going to call this So usually I do this as an abbreviated one, so how I make videos such as that. I will do it in 30 FPS, and these are the settings that I use. Copy them down if you like. So once I've created that new project, that looks pretty good. But you can see I have no media over here. I just have the project. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open some media. So here's my external drive right here. So I'll find the folder. So I'll go into detect videos, and then once I find, so in this case I'm editing the lighting kit video. Once I find that folder, I'm just going to import the entire folder, and I'm going to leave the files in place. I don't want to copy them because since my libraries are stored on a fairly small drive, I do need to kind of minimize the size. So I'm going to leave the files in place and import selected. So there is all of my videos, and since I did that organization earlier, you can see we have these folders along the side here with the keywords. So this is the A-roll clip that I did. This is the B-roll that I've shot, right? And then we also have just the entire folder because there were a couple subfolders. But usually the entire folder tree just kind of comes up right here. So I can easily find things since I organized them earlier. And this is great. So what I'll do is I'll drop in the entire A-roll clip, and the microphone is pretty quiet. So sometimes I will have to boost the audio, but I worry about that at the end. So what I'm doing right now is, or what I will do right now is I will pull up the script in another window, probably on my phone or something like that, which I have right here. And I'll follow along and cut out all of the bad parts and the times where I messed up and all the bad takes, and then I will go from there. Alright, so now I am done the rough cut of the video. So this is what that one A-roll clip where I did all the takes and read the script looks like. It's a little choppy, I screwed up a couple times, but this is what it's looking like right now. So what I'm now going to do is I'm going to go back to my notes. I just, scribbled down a few things about some specific B-roll clips that I took for specific parts in the script. And then I will also just take the rest of the B-roll and find a good spot for it and intersperse the B-roll clips throughout the video so you're not just looking at my face the whole time. And yeah, that is the next step. That is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to go and do it. All right. I am back. Totally different day, different shirt. I know things are crazy around here. I do have all of the B-roll in that I want to put in. This video is actually fairly light on the B-roll for something like a phone review. There's a lot more B-roll, both because the video is longer and because there's just more things about it to shoot. I did mention it's a different day because this isn't my full-time job. Things kind of happen at different times and places. So usually I will script a video mostly at the same time, but I can do that anywhere. Then I will almost always shoot all the A-roll at once and possibly do the B-roll at the same time, but sometimes a different time. And then editing is just kind of a process that, usually happens over multiple days because it can take a while to get things ready. So right now I have the project in its finished form. I've got some sped up clips over here. I've got some color correction over there. I've got this hilarious clip of me pretending the umbrella is an actual umbrella. Pretty hilarious, I know. So now that I'm done editing, I've checked the audio, I've done a minor color correction where I want to, and as well as put in the B-roll as I mentioned. Now I am going to export the video. So I use compressor for this, mostly because I have it and it gives me a lot of flexibility. So I'll go File, Send to Compressor. So that'll open up compressor. So anyway, so I'm going to add a thing. So I'm going to put the YouTube at 30 frames per second. And then I'm actually going to choose a location. So normally I will just put it on the desktop. That way it's faster to upload, and then I'll move it into the correct folder on the drive later. So now that I've chosen that and its location, it should show up right here. Then I will start the batch. So then it'll move over into the active thing where it'll process and be exported. This is actually pretty crazy because I have Final Cut Pro open, I have Compressor open, I have Spotify open, and I'm screen recording at the same time. So I'm going to shut off the screen recording so this can process, and I'll come back to you after that with some of the final steps of creating a video. All right, we are back. As you can see, the video is exported. Only took 3.5 minutes, so I am right back. Haven't even left. So now the next step is to upload to YouTube, and I'm sure many people have done this, even if they're just uploading videos for their friends to see or anything like that. So anyway, we're going to go to the desktop, which I exported it to, and okay, so what I have here is the file name is what it's automatically called here. And then I have upload default set. So this is what goes at the bottom of my video description. So I'll just hit the enter key a few times. And for this video, let's go with and then for all of my uploads, I do schedule them. So I release, in case you didn't notice, on Tuesdays at 10 a.m. Eastern, Toronto time. So right now I have a video already lined up for September 10th. Today is September 6th. So this video is actually going to be coming out September 17th. And then the video where I tell you how I made that video is going to be coming out on September 24th. I believe that's right. So yeah, let me set the time here. And as you can see, the video is uploading very fast since I already did a lot of the compression YouTube would do anyway in Compressor. So we're already at basically 50%. And the only things left to do are to add, iCards and end screens, which I won't show in this video. But we do have to make a thumbnail. All right, so here I've opened up Photoshop. Now this is Photoshop CS6. It's a little bit old, I know. But this is what I use. I basically only use it for thumbnails. That's pretty much it. So it's just kind of handy to have, and I can use it. So what I do is I usually import video frames to layers. So I can grab still images from my video frames, and that is usually how I get my thumbnails. I usually don't take dedicated images. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. So I will find the folder in here. So probably going to go into B-roll here and just find something that looks good. I think I like this one. So what I'll do is open it, and then Photoshop has this thing. So you can select a range. So this is the playhead, so we can kind of see. So I like that right there. So then I have to select kind of the small area around that range. But that's going to still be like 130 frames. So I usually say, import every 5 frames. Then I hit OK. And so in this case, there were 3 frames that were imported, and they all look pretty much the same. Yeah, so I actually like frame 3 the best, so we can just hide the other ones beneath it. So then what I'll usually do is I'll put some text in a corner. So in this case, the bottom left corner, there's not much going on there, and it is a little bit out of focus. So that's where I'll put my text. In this case, I'll just kind of think of something. So anyway, I am back with the text, so I'll make it pretty big. So I'll make it big enough so that it takes up as much space as possible without blocking any of the content from the image. Then I'll just kind of put it in a corner. This looks pretty good to me. I don't put a ton of time into my thumbnails. Mainly I'll just grab a still frame or something, maybe adjust what what the text says, and that's pretty much it. But I also will go into the adjustments, if I can select the right layer, and I will go into kind of exposure, because there are bright lights in this picture, so I'll turn down the exposure a little bit, just a touch. And then I will also usually take the saturation, kind of boost that a little bit, because like not that much. But you see kind of how at basic saturation, the colors in the background are a little bit bland. So what I'll usually do is I'll just boost that, give some richness to the shot. Usually between 20 and 30 is how much I boost it. And the thing to remember is you can kind of get away with boosting things a little too much in your video thumbnails because they are so small when displayed on any YouTube page. So now I will save as. So in this case, I'll put it on the desktop, and then I'll move it into the appropriate folder afterwards. It's just easier to find it when I'm uploading to YouTube. So let's name this. So I'll name it the name of the video. So lighting kit thumb, and then I save it as a JPEG. That's what I normally do. And then this number over here is very important because YouTube thumbnails have a maximum file size of 2 megabytes. So if it's over, then I'll just drop the quality and stuff until I get it within that. In this case, we've got no problem. We're under 1 megabyte. Anyway, you can now see that processing is done over here. I actually did forget to give it a title. My bad. Okay, so now that I have done all that, I need to upload the thumbnail I made, which quite handily is literally at the bottom. So that would be right here. So, perfect. And now I will publish it. And it will go out in 1.5 weeks' time. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you haven't already, please go watch this video to see how the things I talked about translated into the end product. That would be great. And yeah, that's going to be it. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to stay up to date on projects like this. This video did take a little while to make. And yeah, see you in the next video.